Recording in progress.
Hi, I'm the goddess astrologer Jude Hotep and the alchemical initiatrix. So let's get into today. I hope you all are doing amazing and just did an amazing podcast episode that is called Are You Fully Resourced? And that is up on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, the links below. So if you don't know about the Light Goddess podcast, there's over 352 episodes now. If you listen to that podcast, you will raise your frequency, you will get insights, you will get know-how in managing the mind, emotional mastery, and so forth. And there's really literally a wealth there, and it's not a membership. It doesn't cost something every month, so it's really literally like gold sitting there. So please utilize that to support yourself and nurture yourself. I'm going to share the chart with you. We're going to pull some cards and have a lot of fun. I did a card reading today that was pretty in depth on my Instagram at Peace Hotep. So you can check that out if you want and follow me there for some daily astro or some card readings or some pop-up stuff. So this is a chart for today. And what is today? Is today Thursday? I can't remember. I actually need to look. Oh, this isn't the chart for today. Okay. I'm sorry. I just like don't know what city I'm in, what time it is, or what day it is. So pardon me. So let's go to tomorrow. Isn't today Friday? I just am not sure. I think so. No, yes, it's Friday. Okay, sorry. Like I really didn't know. Okay. Yeah, it's Friday. Okay, so this is the chart for today. And let's move hours and just see when. Okay, so it's like right around 1-ish east. Well, no, this is Colorado time, so mountain time. That adjust for your time zone. You're capable of that. I'm not going to do it for you. You are capable. You have the brain power. I believe in you. Mountain time. So that Pluto goes retrograde today. So this is Pluto in Capricorn. It's in a cardinal earth sign. Pluto will be in Aquarius once it moves out of Capricorn. And since Pluto has a very long cycle around the sun, 250 years roughly, it doesn't move. We only see so many signs during our lifetime. So it will be in Aquarius next. I know a lot about Pluto because Pluto is been in my, it's just like went into my, I was like sitting in this really interesting place, is like right on the cusp of my 12th house. So Pluto is going into my 12th house for a long time. So you know about Pluto, but I've already had like a Pluto square Pluto, which can be very eventful. Had like a near-death car accident during that time, literally had an out-of-body experience, and then had a cop scream at me. She's like, "I didn't punch her." I screamed back at her though. Like literally there's this group of cops, all male, and then this one bitch, and she was like screaming at me. And I was just like, I just was in this like disaster car accident. My car's destroyed. There's glass everywhere. I probably have a concussion and maybe who knows what else. And you're screaming at me. Every male cop there was so nice and was so helpful. It's just interesting. So um that happened during my Pluto square Pluto. It's like probably around like your late 30s. It definitely happens. But anyways, Pluto's retrograde. So it's gonna be here for a bit. We have Saturn going to be following soon. We have Mercury going into shadow. So Mercury is slowed down significantly. So Mercury is now at 29 degrees Taurus today, and this 29th degree can be crispy. It can be a little bit challenging. So what's Mercury? Mercury is our mind. It's our worldview. It is not only seeing from two sides, two points of view, Gemini, the twins, but Mercury is the monad. Mercury has all of the signs in its symbol, and it's actually missing part of its original symbol for the glyph. where it used to have two other parts that were Jupiter and Saturn, but Jupiter and Saturn are actually the same glyph, just in different positions. And so this monad here is like seeing above the duality, and it's Taurus. So it's like, what is our worldview? What is our view on values? What is our communication, our expression? What is our expression of our values? And with Taurus, the bull, it could be a Ferdinand the bull, or it could be, what's that other bull that's like really, it could be like the raging bull, right? So it could be the really happy bull. And usually Taurus takes a while to get pissed off, but then once it is, it's like, look out. It's like, I had this kid on the bus when I was a kid, he was a friend of mine, actually. We were friends, but he kept putting his thumb in my face for a really long time on the bus, for a long time, and he wouldn't stop. And finally I just took his thumb and I cranked it and I broke it. I got kicked off the bus for like a week. But yeah, he was in a cast, and it's like, don't fuck with a bull. Like, like, you had your chance. I gave you a long time to stop it and warnings. So it's like, how are you communicating your values? How are you expressing your values? How are you expressing your self-worth? What does that look like? And is your self-worth based on intrinsic worth inside yourself, of knowing who you are versus who other people are? Because since the 80s, particularly, we've been sold these things in society, which is like this Chiron here in Aries. We've been sold ideas in society, introjects, perceptions, ways to look at things, beliefs, conditioning, programs. And of course, it's always gone on, right? But since the 80s, we've been sold that in Taurus areas of worth, value, money, abundance. And so we've been sold like that money means, or that abundance or self-worth means that you have cars, you have houses, you have fancy things, nice things, whatever that means. I mean, there really is a plethora of what that could mean and still be socially acceptable, right? But it's certain things, and certain people, certain groups, certain demographics, whatever, have like their own unique versions of it, right? Where it might be labels in certain streets in certain cities, and those things, it might be the way your car looks, it might be so many different things, right? So it's really understanding, like, where does your value come from? Does it come from your emotional security within yourself? Does it come with your security of who you are, that you know who you are, that other people could be around and other people are really enamored and loving them, but you and them being the exact opposite of you, but you really knowing who you are and not trying to be different than that, and let the chips fall where they may, and really understanding that maybe it's not a vibe match, because the North Node is square Saturn. And so the square is like, what do you vibe with? Saturn is Aquarius, and it's saying it's okay to, it's really, Aquarius is impersonal. It's friendship, not love. It's impersonal, and it connects and disconnects. Aquarians, if you know any Aquarians, for the most part, obviously there's 10 planets in your chart, not to mention other things going on. So, but if you know Aquarians, typically they just bounce, they're just done, and they just go make a new friend, and they make plenty of new friends all the time. Like, they don't need to keep people around, and they don't get super attached to it. Taurus will get really attached. So what values and things you think make you worthy are you attached to, that are not from your heart, that are not from your soul, that are holding you back, that are repressing you and pushing you down and keeping up with the Joneses, or some ideas or some societal ideas that are keeping you in groups that you don't even give a fuck about? Like, it's really important to look at this when we're in this energy and this time. This is what the astrology is at. This is what the universe is asking us to do. Like, when you go dance, if you're dancing to the tango and it's electronic music, I mean, okay, but it's like the universe is playing this right now. And so are you going to take this opportunity to really look at your values from all angles? Because Mercury has went over all of these planets, but has went over all these Taurus planets. And, past Uranus, which is helping us to release attachments to what we thought self-worth should be based on, which has been status, money, hierarchy, and fame. Those aren't real values. That's what was sold to us by small groups of people to make, to make money, that are connected to other small groups of people that own corporations that make money. And I'm not saying corporations are bad, right, wrong, or the other. I'm saying that we have systemic, which is Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorns are big systems and institutions, whether it's Texas Instruments, that provide all of our textbooks to our children in public schools, that have taken out cursive writing, that connects the two hemispheres of the brain in 3rd grade at a specific time when that's supposed to occur, that has taken out critical thinking skills, even though they were never even actually taught in the classroom. Not when I was in school. I always asked, like, why are these questions really hard and we're not going over them? These are actually interesting. Like, can we? It's just my school. So like schools are so dummied down, and unfortunately mine was quite dumbed down, but nevertheless, I'm glad I just read voraciously and studied on my own. But it's like these big institutions in society, like Hollywood, disseminates propaganda through movies and commercials and TV. It's not that there's not great stuff there too. It goes both ways. We have to realize what we've been fed, these interjects from society and culture telling us what's worthy and valuable and what beauty is, particularly with us women, the divine feminine, having to unravel and dismantle beauty, and Taurus is beauty. So this is coming up hard, of like having to dismantle what beauty means, because what was sold to us was like, oh, first of all, it's been sold to women for 5,000 years that you're only valuable if you're popping out babies and domesticated and cooking and cleaning, and only to some degree. As soon as you need like a special room to breastfeed, nope, we don't value you anymore. And also only value you for your body, right? Like this has been the messaging to women for how long? And a lot of women are really conditioned in that and still objectifying themselves on Instagram and social media and other places. I don't know how many times I've like been in my gym and I'm like walking out of the shower naked to my locker to like finish up, and there's some girl there like taking a picture of her booty sticking out and like her back and her like workout uniform to like post to Instagram. And I'm just like, oh my God, this 20-something-year-old girl is like bamboozled and she's getting swindled. She has been conditioned to believe that her value is her body, and only if it looks a certain way that's been sold by porn. And porn is dark. It just is like, and that's been a big spell on women to keep buying into the lack of sacredness with sex. Like sex can be fun and erotic and kinky and all these things and be sacred and have something more than just this physical component, like this animalistic component. Like we are souls, and sex is something sacred that was supposed to connect to the mystical, to give you transcendent experiences and actually create things. It's manifestation, whether it's a baby life or whether it's a other life, like your projects and things, or just complete bliss and ecstasy and you get to be in that. So much has been lost. Taurus is the 5 senses, so definitely sex. So much has been lost with women, that so many women are still under these spells of conditioning and objectifying their own bodies, like participating in it. And yeah, and just like the crappy music that objectifies women played in gyms and in classes and workout classes, and women just going along with it because they're under these conditionings. Like this is the work we have to do as light goddess, depending on what your work is, but it's like these institutions. So Uranus is helping us to release attachments to what we think beauty is. Taurus is beauty. It's goddess Aphrodite. It's Venus. Taurus is the 5 senses. It's pleasure. It is the fields. It's the earth. It's the fecundity. It's the abundance. And what are your ideas of abundance, and what is that based on? because resources can come from anywhere. You could view the earth as your resource, including all the people, etc. And of course, there's a lot of stand-ins. There's a lot of backfill of people in this world. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to go down the rabbit hole a little bit deeper. But there's a lot of people that aren't people, but so, I mean, they are, but they're not. Anyway, so it's like, what is this based on? And this North Node in Taurus that's going to be here until next summer, when it's then going to go into Aries, which is all about a healthy identity and a healthy ego. And so this Chiron in Aries is very apropos. It's helping us to heal what society told us fame meant or was, or what money or wealth was. Wealth is your ability to create. Taurus, which is creation. Taurus is about creating with your own resources, skills, tools, and gifts. And if you don't understand the definition of gifts, it is the gifts that you have inside of you, that your intuitive abilities, your skills, card reading abilities. Most people think they have to go to school to get a gift. The gifts were given to you. They're your own codes. They're your own unique abilities that you just develop your own craftship at your work. And a lot of times it's like what you love to do as a kid. Like I kept putting writing off, and it's what I love, and it's what I love to do as a kid. And so there's so many things that often our childhood really gives us a lot of good information. So all this Pisces energy can be drugs, illusion, disillusionment, escapism. And escapism can be many, many things. It can be cleaning underneath the refrigerator. You think it's a good thing, but you are not doing your business, and you're not also self-nourishing yourself and filling your own cup. So it's like, instead of escaping and scrolling or overeating, over binging on TV, how can you actually do something that really resources you within? And if you want to find out more about that, I do a whole podcast episode on it. And that's today's episode on the Light Goddess podcast, link below, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. So it's a powerful episode. I probably give like 1,001 ideas in that, and talk about 5 ways that we women have to fill our grail. Our grail is our inner cup, our chalice, to fill that up before we take care of anybody else, take care of anything else, the business, any of it. Because when we're not filled, we're not in our highest frequency, Saturn and Aquarius square to the nodes, meaning decisions, challenges with taking action, moving forward, with only going forward is what we truly vibe with, that lights us up, that flames us on, that's just ecstatic. Because Aquarius doesn't stay connected to shit it's not interested in. If people don't honor how unique an Aquarian is, they will bounce. They need people to see their uniqueness. And if people don't appreciate that, they're like, I'm out. And Aquarians will often, sometimes you'll find them just wearing really bizarre clothes just because they want to be different. Aquarius is the rebel. It's the unique, the individualist, the rare avis. It's the unique person that's in their self-worth and owns it and loves themselves, and just knows the value of being a unique individual, not conforming. I mean, you know how it is. You see somebody with certain kinds of shoes, and then everybody's got those shoes. It's just a different color. It's like, what do you want that's unique? Like I found this brand called I think, is it Red Ox? I think it's Red Ox, but whatever it is, I don't know. I can't remember how the hell I came across it, but this brand is amazing. It's a luggage company, and they use skydiving grade equipment for their zippers and for their handles and all their stuff. And so it's the most heavy duty shit ever. The shit I bought, I'm talking literally maybe 15 plus years ago. I still have, it's an amazing condition. Zippers never broke. It's my most heavy dutiest but awesomest luggage I have. And it looks great, and it's just like things like that. It's just Taurus's value. It's what's valuable. And Vesta in Aquarius is holding the vigil, holding the sacred altar within yourself of that high frequency vibe. And so whatever matches that gets to come with you on the journey. Whatever doesn't, it can get lost. But are you willing to stand in your self-worth, Taurus? Because Mercury has been talking to you about your worth for a really long time here. And the moon in Aries today at 27 degrees, these last degrees of Aries, this is about, Aries understands who it is. I mean, Aries identifies things. It identifies it. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's the meanness. So it's like a baby looking at its arm, like, what is this? It's my arm. So it's identifies what it wants. It knows it's no and yes. It knows who it is. It knows what it likes and doesn't like. It's like, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. And it's very assertive about it. It's very outspoken. It's very headstrong. It's very fiery. It's very independent, and it initiates and it goes out there. It's Mars energy. It goes through the walls and through the obstacles, and it gets back up when it gets knocked down. And it might feel vulnerable inside. So you might feel emotionally vulnerable inside and yet still fiery and have this steam and want to help the underdog and get back up and still have some of these emotions going on, as we're going to move into gear up for this eclipse tomorrow, this new moon, partial solar eclipse. If you haven't thought about ceremony or already done ceremony, this is an important eclipse to do ceremony on. So it's kind of like a hole puncher. This eclipse is a new moon, you know, obviously is about visioning. So you might have been always the lead up to a new moon is a balsamic phase. So it's a dark period of time. So it's a time when we are often shedding so much, and shadow can come up and triggers and issues and whatever. And it's an amazing time to go in and do that healing, face that stuff, do the work, the inner work. And we do that in Alchemical Goddess. We transform and alchemize the shadow and the pain and the loss and the challenge and the inhibitions to create massive abundance and be on the spiritual journey, being a light goddess that is helping humanity move into love consciousness. So come into Alchemical Goddess. You can book a goddess call on thegoddessastrologer.com, where you can apply for Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program, where I do astrological shamanic coaching. So I use your charts. It's very powerful. You come to know thyself, and transformations, you just stay in transformation week after week. It's really is ecstatic. Women transform their life. So this moon is going to be, this eclipse is going to already be a new moon, and then now we're going to hole punch something in time. And so you can see the effects of eclipses often 6 months after. You can feel their kind of energy often a week to a month after. And this moon today has this square to Capricorn, to sorry, I'm just getting really tired, to Pluto and Capricorn, about our power. So this, you might be emotional where you've not stood in your power, or where things inside yourself are going through a death cycle to be in the new birth, in the new rebirth that's going to happen with this eclipse. So you might feel the death and decay, and you might be going through losing ego identities and losing things inside yourself. You might have all the old shit coming up. Don't think you're going in reverse. It often shows itself as it leaves. It often filters up. Whatever comes up to be released. It often shows you where you've grown. Black Moon Lilith has these squares to Jupiter and Venus, and Venus is coming up for that conjunction with Jupiter, which is a very potent conjunction. It's the two benefics. It is Jupiter, the Santa Claus. It's kind of like the Santa Claus handing out presents. Jupiter is many, many, many emotions. It has like 79 moons. Jupiter and Pisces, it's this deeply spiritual energy. And it's like, what do you believe? It's like your spiritual beliefs, your soul beliefs. Jupiter is also the open doors. What doors are open in your life and what doors are closed? And are they spiritual doors from soul? Or are you trying to bang your head against a door with your mind, Mercury, and not understanding that spirit has opened doors for you, and they're everywhere because Venus is here exalted in Pisces. And so these two together, coming together, is Jupiter's infinite. It spreads out across time. And then Pisces is already just endless, boundless, no boundaries. And so it's this deep magical, mystical, spiritual energy that's boundless with no boundaries, and Venus that just loves to love, and this amazing beauty and love and magical energy. And then of course Neptune here. So Mars is in Pisces as well, taking action and making tangible what is our spiritual, our soul reality, making that into the 3D reality, right? Combining those. Also, we'll just look out for fantasies and whether they're true or not. You want to not be fooling yourself. And there is a powerful septile from Vesta to Chiron. Vesta is our sacred altar, and Chiron's our wound, and this wound in Aries of the identity, the ego. So like how your ego gets hurt by things. What does it get hurt by? And really looking at that and being willing to heal it, because the septile is like very odd, bizarre, otherworldly kind of things coming up. So that if like things are really odd around ego wounds and around keeping this sacred altar within yourself, understand that there's a septile here. It's a seventh harmonic. It's a very odd, otherworldly kind of thing. And then the South Node has a biquintile to Chiron, and so there could be some interesting problems solved between the wound and your self-intimacy, your boundaries, your commitments, and understanding that this eclipse tomorrow is incredibly powerful. You already know the themes, they've already been up for you, it's already been clear. Mercury has given you that information, and tomorrow the moon moves into that spot, and there's just so much beauty going on. There's so much here. So the energies for today are it's just a powerful time of transformation, but to be real with yourself and to not be in the fantasy or the delusion, but also to be looking at the healing and what really needs to be healed and doing that inner work. If you're not doing the inner work, what's your resistance to it? What wants to come forward for us? 2 cards. Love heals fear. So when you're trying to deal with the fear, this Uranus energy, this eclipse, Uranus energy, it could be anxiety provoking. It could be nervous system stuff. And so then with the eclipse here, there's a lot of solar activity going on. It's been going on for a while. So there's a ton of solar activity and M-class flares, M-class 5 flares. I don't know. MXEs, I don't know. I just started like getting a little bit more familiar with them and so forth, but specifically, but they're the like extra large flares. But there's a lot of solar activity going on, and it can cause you to be extra tired. Then we have all this Pisces energy, which can cause you to be extra tired. Take the naps, rejuvenate yourself, take care of yourself. And we just talked about that, like being fully resourced. And I just did a whole podcast episode on that. Do the journaling, go do the inner work, do the inward stuff. If you're doing everything just for money, you're in the wrong paradigm. And you're not moving to the new earth. Like you want to be on the new earth. Aquarius and Taurus is literally Aquarius new, Taurus earth. So it's literally the new earth. But that Aquarian energy can be anxiety and all different kinds of things. So it's like love heals fear. So literally breathe love through your body, activate love within you. If you don't know how to do that, book a goddess call for Alchemical Goddess. You learn those skills and you learn emotional mastery there. What wants to come up? If you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. I love this card with, I think we got this yesterday, but it's okay to be different. We're moving into the Aquarius realm, Aquarius era. It is about unity through diversity, not conformity. The lower octave of Aquarius is conformity and doing what these authorities say to do. Are they divine authorities from your heart and soul, or are they human-made, man-made authorities? Male, masculine, malignant masculine authorities. who are you following? Science is reductive. Science takes what spirit's known for decades, sometimes centuries, and reduces it and then takes the soul out of it, if it even included it in the first place. There's documentation of that worth waiting for, that divine timing on things. So if you're on your business, this is Taurus North Node. So it's about plotting. It's about one steady step after another to get there, that your dream is worth waiting for, that the project you're working on is worth waiting for, that the fox is this feminine energy, the unicorn obviously is freedom and magic, that the tide's coming in, she can't go out to this amazing bridge at the moment and this feature, and so it's like it's worth waiting for to be in this beauty, and we're going to assume it's like an amazing warm day and the wind's not too cold, but anyways, that it's worth taking just the determination and steadiness. One of the spells in the culture is this urgency, destination, goal focus. Like you're supposed to already be there. So we got this a lot. This is up in the collective. This is a heavy one. So so you'll know in the morning. What it means is that sometimes when we need answers and the mind is too activated, which it very much could be today. So just know this could be a very ego mind activated day today, that with the astrology, and that's because the sun's at 9 degrees. That's because Mars is at 11 degrees, which is Virgo's degrees, which is very much analytical. It's because Mercury is at the last degrees of Taurus. And then it's like trying to search, and it's in your mind about your values and your worth and going around and around. And so understand that you may just need to sleep on it and take a break if you can't connect your guides, your soul, and your heart. Get out of your mind. If you're ferreting and trying to figure and decide and calibrate and arbitrate, all those are signals that you're in your mind. Your mind doesn't have the answers. So many people are on the drug of the mind. And this is something that helped me a lot to realize, like, the mind is a drug, thinking is a drug. And, we have 3 air signs. So we have Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And so those signs, when you have a moon there, you have your sun there, or whatever, you can have maybe more propensity to be in the mind. Plus our whole society is mind dominant that we're moving out of. So realize that we're moving into heart coherence. It's actually something you have to train yourself to do, to hear the heart and the intuition and to not be in the mind. And so sleep on it, get some rest, play, and then come back to it. Try something new. So I've been talking about innovation and talking about being fully resourced. Listen to that podcast episode. I think you'll really dig it. It's really different. I literally give like 101 examples. There's literally a killer whale here and a unicorn like surfing. Like, it's very different. Try something different and unique. Think outside the box. And I give like 1,001 ideas in that episode that will start your wheels turning. A lot of times we need to get really different ideas from other places so that our imagination and creativity will start to turn on, and we'll start thinking of things we never thought of before. Finish what you started. So work on your projects, work on the things that matter to you, be loyal to your dreams, and just keep taking steady steps. Maybe it's just 10 minutes at a time. I know that card's definitely for me, but it's weird because it's like I'm supposed to like travel across the country and also get a project done, and it's like but yeah, just like we're always doing our inner work and working on something, right? Happy surprise. So there's a happy surprise coming. I'm going to leave this one at this, that there's magic for you. Also, just that there's magic afoot, but are you seeing it? Because if you're in your mind or ego, you're not seeing that shit. And it's right there in front of you. Literally, it's just acceptance. So this came up again, and I just shuffled. You saw that. There's a happy surprise. There's magic everywhere. There's beauty and love and so much abundance. But it's like, do you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear? And I'm not joking. This conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune 3 weeks ago, and 4 planets in Pisces, and the last 2 years of shedding the shadow, facing your shit, getting off addictions, doing the inner work, doing the mindset work, doing the emotional mastery. Maybe you haven't started down that journey yet. Get into Alchemical Goddess, come into a goddess call. But the beauty is here for you. We've done this ascension work. So if you've done your work, the magic is here for you. This is a new life. And I've just met people tonight where I met two people who were like just random encounters, talked for 5 minutes, but it's like they were drug addicts and just got off drugs. And this is the perfect time because all that Pisces energy would have like been overdoses and been all kinds of crazy mental health issues and stuff. And so they didn't even know they were like doing this, the spirit helped them do these magical things at this certain time of this life. In their life, they're going to look back and be like, this was the time. But if you connect it to astrology, it's actually right along with the astrology. So there's magic everywhere. Are you in your head though, and you're complaining in the problem, not seeking solutions, not doing the inner work, and too much in the shadow? So levity is so important right now. Find a way to laugh. It's really important. Like if you don't have one laugh a week, like how many laughs do you have a day, a week? Like how much are you laughing? Like this is something that's been very up for me lately. It's just like, man, am I even getting like a laugh a week or a laugh a day? Like what do I need to like put some YouTube videos on, some comedy shows on? Like who do I know who's funny? Like what do I need to do to get some laughter in my life? And simplicity. Taurus is simple. Taurus is very much not pretense. It's not the complexities. That's Scorpio. That's the opposite. That's the South Node. The complexities and the undercurrents and all the things and the hidden and the secrecy and the suspicious and the distrust and all of that. Taurus is simple. And it knows what makes life worthwhile: the good meal, the soft fabrics, the amazing bedroom, the colors, the beauty, the sensations, Taurus sees the whole thing and is like, nope, this needs to change. This needs to change. This could be better. How it could all be better. Like, why are we even doing this if we're not making it great? Like that's Taurus. Taurus likes things clean and beautiful and interesting and just satisfying, right? And it's not just about this materialism or being too connected to that. It's about that we deserve to have this abundant, amazing life. Love heals fear. So this is a big one. So with all this energy, this fear can come out. Fear is resistance, anxiety. It's all of these emotions are actually fear. So are you doing somatic breath release? Do you know how to do that? I've taught that in the Activate Your Goddess Facebook group. There's 36 hours of free master content there. So you can still go into there, even though that is actually the like Goddess Sisterhood now. So come join us. And I'm going to have different teachings in there. You learn these skills now, Chemical Goddess. Do you have emotional mastery and do you have emotional skills so that when you're feeling these emotions, you have tools in your spiritual gig bag to help you deal with anxiety? And lemon balm, kava, very effective. So exercising, getting it out, taking deep breath, things like that. So really look to how are you dealing with fears that comes up. The other thing about fears, you want to go face it, do it immediately. Stop putting shit off. Don't let papers pile up. Don't let tasks pile up. Like get it done, do it, make the phone calls, do the emails. I'm also talking to myself here. I've got like some freaking things to tick off my list tomorrow that need to get done. That could easily turn into anxiety if I don't do them. So do those things. We have Alice, she who grants wishes desire hope. So definitely talk to spirit and tell spirit what you want and have those conversations with your guides and let the magic unfold and come in. And believe that you get to have your dreams, that the dreams actually right now, and then we're always like creating more of the dream and shaping more of it in place as we go, of course. And then we have Colette, she who nurtures, empathy, gentleness, insight, and she has that amethyst on her third eye, the stone of gentle forgiveness energy, and stone that helps release negative energy. And she's very present and she's very like receptive and compassionate vibe going on with the flowers and the softness and the like kind of curious, open, listening vibe she's got going on. And she who nurtures. So it's like, are you nurturing yourself? And we talked about that a lot today, and like being fully resourced. Listen to that podcast episode. Futura, she who divines. So divination, it's a womanly art. It goes back to our history, our ancestry, our heritage as women, and future, choice, judgment. And so it's like with this eclipse, like looking at the future, judgment, too much in the mind, judging other people, yourself, who you're comparing yourself to, making choices. It's like, yeah, make the choices. Stop sitting on the fence. And the choice comes from your heart. Your heart knows the answer. Are you just trying to deny what your heart is saying? And why? What is the block? What is the inhibition there? Are you looking at that? It's really important. We have Kamala, she who embraces enlightenment, mindfulness, rise up. So rise up to your empowerment as a woman, to speak your voice loud and clear in this world without fear. You know, emerge out of the darkness, out of the shadow, out of the problems and the fear and the reasons why you don't live your dream life, um and be in this world as a powerful woman in this world. I'm not saying that it's all at once, but why are you not on that journey and starting that journey, or taking the next step and staying in comfort zones? Get out of your comfort zones. You don't stretch and grow in your comfort zone. She who avenges nemesis, revenge outcomes justice. So that's the Scorpio South Node. Get out of that South Node. Get out of the revenge and like needing justice and wanting to sue people. Like there's people I could sue, like literally legitimately. And I like it's been hard to just make the decision that like I just don't want to do that with my mind and my time and my heart and my energy, but they deserve it. It's completely unjust, and I would win that case if I had a good lawyer. But yeah, I'm just not gonna waste my time like that. It'll come back to them. It'll come back around. That's how karma works. And she who regrets, eclat, you know, battle, victory, bitterness. So it's like, what if you don't do it? Are you going to regret it that you didn't do it? She's standing on this pile of skulls, and it's like, is the victory worth it, worth the battle? And that Aries moon can want to go to battle and be aggressive, and can just spout off really easily. Hannah, she who listens, understanding, witness, compassion. So are you being compassionate with yourself? Are you being fair with yourself? Are you always looking at the other side and letting other people off the hook and saying, well, yeah, they're nice. Yeah, they had good intentions. Who cares? Are you taking care of yourself? Is it a vibe match? If somebody's not respecting you, good intentions or not, like if they're not hearing you and like understanding your boundary, which your boundaries are for you, they're not to tell other people you have to do this. They're for you to say, I'm not available. I don't have time. I don't want to do that. I don't like that. You know, we think we have to do a lot of things in society to belong, to uphold traditions or mores or what people expect of you, but we don't. It's kind of like going to kids' birthday parties. Maybe you don't want to go to the kids' birthday parties. You can drop your kid off and they can go. If it's like, you know, Christmas, for example, it's like you have to go to the family Christmas. Maybe you only like 2 people in your family. Go see them individually, have a little ceremony, and go have amazing fun on Christmas. Why would you go be around a bunch of people you don't like? So yeah, it's coming up a lot of Scorpio South Node. Get out of that Scorpio South Node and go build, grow, be in the abundance of, and the 5 senses and the pleasure and the joy and the love of Taurus. Get out of the psychologizing, the drama, the revenge, the trying to get back at, all of the psychodynamics and relationships. I'm sending you so much love. I hope this helped. Please subscribe and like. Please share this with other people. Be back tomorrow for the eclipse to talk about the weekend. And sun sign horoscopes are every Monday in the Light Goddess podcast. The links below. Come into the Light Goddess sisterhood. We are stronger together when we're around other people who are strong. When we are trying to do our sacred calling and be fully resourced inside ourselves and do this inner work and face our shadow and face our shit and go through ascension and have ascension symptoms and having weird detox shit happening, and we're tired all the time, and there's so much happening, and there's good, and there's also like, oh my God. And you know, it's easier to go through that when you have other women going through that with you, and you're surrounded and they're doing that inner work too, and they're deep diving, and you just get to be your real self. And it's just an amazing place. And so many ceremonies are coming up, astrology jams, different things. So can't wait to see your faces in there. I hope you'll be joining us. All right. I will talk to you on the next daily Divine Feminine Astro Intuitive.